Okay, good evening. It is 7:02 p.m. As you know, the mask mandate has been lifted. We do not have any students present. If you feel comfortable, you are welcome to take your mask off this evening. Since I'll be doing some speaking, I will be removing my mask. And if you feel comfortable keeping your mask on, you are entitled to that, and I appreciate your conscientiousness. Tonight, we are in a hybrid model. I just need to allow a few more people into our room here. I wanted to bring everyone up to speed. The governor this morning signed legislation presented to him at his request, in fact, to allow for remote participation for meetings to continue. In addition, Beverly had adopted remote participation May 16th of 2016. So we will continue to allow members to participate remotely. Tonight we have 5 members present. I'll do a roll call in a moment. But I just wanted to make everyone aware that this meeting is being recorded. It is also being broadcast on BevCam and streamed on their website and on their YouTube government channel. So any sounds or video likeness will be recorded and broadcast this evening. So thank you so much. And just one moment. BevCam, our audience at home is not hearing us. Oh. Thank you. We will make sure that we get the audio for our remote participants in just 1 second.
Okay, can you try that now for them?
Okay. Okay, I see thumbs up on my computer screen here. So along the lines of our hybrid meeting, I'll just explain we are using a platform that's provided at no cost to our district, and there's no cost for anyone who's participating on this channel. We are also trying out a closed captioning service that comes with this platform so that our folks can use the closed captioning if they so desire. We have a number of members present, so let me just do a roll call. We have Mr. John Mulady, Ms. Kimberly Coelho, Ms. Karen Robinson, and Dr. Ken-Ann McKenzie in the room. We are not expecting Ms. Visnick this evening, and we will watch for Mayor Cahill. We also are joined this evening by Dr. Suzanne Turocek, Ms. Bethany Splansky, Ms. Donna Bergeron, Ms. Jean Sherburne, Dr. Andre Morgan, and a number of honored and distinguished guests. We appreciate you all being here in person. Isn't it great? Okay, now that we've called to order and covered some of our housekeeping, our first order of business is actually the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to ask Mr. John Mulady if he would lead us in the pledge this evening.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much, Mr. Mulady, and thank you all. Okay, next it is my distinct pleasure to welcome our friends from Beverly Education Foundation here this evening. We are grateful recipients to a number of grant awards, and we look forward to the presentation. So, Ms. Anna Green, please.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Anna Green, the Vice President, and this is Doug Walker, the President of the Beverly Education Foundation. And we're very pleased this evening to be here to talk about a couple of things. But one is the grants which we have funded, and then also a little bit about Honor a Teacher. But I'd like to first introduce the board, because they have, as you all have worked tirelessly, they have also worked tirelessly for us. So I'd like the Beverly Education Foundation board to please stand up and be recognized. Andy Cooper, Liesl Hacker for Hannah, Beverly High School rep Catherine Barrett, Sarah Ayala for Ayers, Tara Fitzpatrick for North Beverly, Ruth Bosler, and Ann Gavin, I saw her here, for this beautiful Beverly Middle School. Liz Champa is not here this evening. Her daughter was ill, so she could not make it. Anyways, I would like to just first start out, and then I'm going to hand the mic to Doug. But as you know, this has been an amazing year, and we have all had a very kind of tremulous time. And I am so proud that the Beverly Public School District has done so amazingly well. And as I was just saying to Dr. Trochik, we knew the teachers were really hitting it out of the park because we were taking donations in for Honor a Teacher in November and December. And with all kinds of comments. Thank you in terms of just the effort for remote, the effort for, just being happy and optimistic for these kids. And so it was really an amazing thing to see. And it really translates when you read the comments that people have sent in. You are making such a difference. And the other thing I want to talk about right away is, again, for this year, we had an exceptional donation from all the city officials. All the elected city officials honored teachers, and like a substantial amount. And I can't say enough to everyone who did that. And I would like to present to Dr. Trochik. I would like to present to Dr. Trochik and Honor a Teacher, and I think we're supposed to turn this way for our people. For the Honor a Teacher for all elected city officials for making a difference for the lives of all public school students here. So thank you, Dr. Trochik.
Thank you, and thank you to the whole board that's here for everything that you do. I think this is just overwhelming at some point to understand the impact that we all have on the whole community, and the recognition that we're getting from elected officials around that. So
I think it's so great.
I appreciate you for that, and everyone for contributing. So thank you very much.
I have two more, and you can stay up. This is for you and for all Beverly Public School staff for the outstanding work done during the pandemic. And it is from the former superintendent, Dr. Hershey, saying, "Job well done."
Well,
Again.
That's going to make me cry. Thank you so much. Again, we were talking earlier, and I've had a lot of people along the way say, what a great job we're doing in Beverly, and 100% the leadership team, the teachers, we couldn't have done it without them, and we really did rock it. So I think I'm really proud. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And then we have another Honor a Teacher for the school committee and school committee president, Rachel Abell. And we want you to know, and this is from the Beverly Education Foundation, we want you all to know how much your leadership and bravery, you guys were not afraid. They weren't. They were not afraid in this pandemic. And I think that's the big thing. That's the change up. That's the thing that has done so well here in Beverly. I want to thank you all. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Doug, and he's going to start on the grants.
I like grants. All right. Do you want me to just start with this one?
Well, yeah.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
I better put my glasses on. Also, I just want to say thank you to all of the retiring teachers out there. I was listening to you talking out there. As a teacher of 37 years, I am jealous of you. And I get what you're, I get it. And I also I know how hard it was for people our age to actually pivot this year. But I also want to just recognize how proud I am of being in Beverly and the Beverly schools and the technology that we bring that the kids use to make it easier, an easier pivot. When I talk to other people in my family in other parts of the country and things like that, Beverly had it hands down. Just the pivot and what we did here was just so much better than everything else that I was hearing in the flyover states where I'm from. So just so you know, that is recognized too. So, and I appreciate everything that Beverly has done and what you guys have done to actually help that happen. So I know that hopefully we'll never go through it again, but I know that we're in good placement if we do. The first of the grants that we're giving out, we gave out, what, 14? Was it 14 grants this year? It was really, really enjoyable to read all of the different grants this year. There was real energy and there was real creativity with all of the different grants. While I don't represent any one school because my kids are long gone from the Beverly Public Schools at this point, I'm going to be giving out the grant, the first grant tonight, to the McEwen School, to Gina Anderson, for the McEwen administrator, Heidi Moran, and Aaron Sweeney. They wrote a grant called Listen to This. It's a phonemic awareness toolkit, and just it's wonderful that, that you're going to be doing this because phonemic awareness is such an important thing for the young students to start to grow and learn and use as they move through it. So it really prepares them as they move forward. So I would like to give out this first grant to, and I don't know who from McEwen is here. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Andy Cooper, you want to go? Sure, since you're in the front row.
All right.
Our friends at home are asking if you could hold the mic just a tiny bit closer so we can hear everything at home.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Sorry. So the checks all must go to Jean Sherburne before you leave. So you get the check in the envelope, and then unfortunately you all have to turn them over to Jean. All right, that's all.
And Jean does take care of it. When it goes to Jean, we don't have any problem. Andy Cooper, and it's pretty tough. I'm going to have my back to somebody. But anyway, thank you for having us here. And I know I'm going to blow the pronunciation. But actually both the awards that I'm going to hand out have to do with books, which is near and dear to my heart. My kids both went to Cove, Briscoe, Beverly High a few years ago. And the first one is about building a culturally responsible library. So supplementing the library, and you're going to hear more about this. I think it started in Hannah. And so I'm going to let Liesl talk more about, because I thought you were going to go before me, but she'll give you the details. It started in Hannah, but it's kind of a really interesting take in that it was so well received, each of the elementary schools have the same grant. And so you'll get more details later, but it's about enriching the library with a culturally diverse set of books. And I apologize to Cynthia. Cynthia Santosuoso. Close, right? And I don't know, is Becky here also, or you're going to come back? Okay. So the second one is not across all elementary schools. This is just Centerville. It's the title of it is A Kid's Book About. And what it is, it's supplementing the library with a bunch of books that really help kids and their adults deal with difficult topics. And I know in the board, when we talked about it, it felt like, well, this could be a tough one, but the way it's going to be handled is, I think the literacy coach is going to deal with that in terms of not just handing the books out, but helping kids with it. So it does sound very, very exciting. And again, Becky Holden, thank you. And then you lose the check. Can I take my glasses off? Thank you.
Okay, great. Hi, my name is Liesl Hacker. I am the board rep for Hannah. It's also I'm a trainer, but I'm like incredibly nervous right now because for 18 months, I've been able to mute people. I've been able to turn my screen off, and I can't do that right now. And this is like re-entry, and I'm like, whoa, what is happening? But this is what I do for a living, and I'm like, I can't speak in front of and I had to put real clothes on. I didn't know. You should have seen me. It took me 3 hours to get ready tonight. Anyways, yes, I'm going to, I have the honor of awarding Hannah 3 grants this year, which is really, really exciting. And the first, which Andy kind of already went over, was the Culturally Responsive Library, which came from the literacy coach at Hannah, Michelle Zampel, who couldn't be here tonight. But she's also my personal hero because she has given my son every single copy of the Warriors books, which is like 26 books, and he's going to be like set for all summer. So I thank her for that. But also the purpose of these books is really to promote cultural competence, to help create learning environments that help children develop a positive sense of self and explore the larger world around them and celebrate accomplishments of people from diverse cultures. I think what I liked best about this proposal was her use of the term mirrors and windows. And it's this idea of a mirror reflecting back to the students, something that they can identify with in these books, so our culturally diverse students, and then a window into the experience of someone else. And I know, my second grader is almost third grader, an avid reader. So how important it is to get these books in front of him. I can see his perspective about the world around him changing when he reads some of these culturally diverse books. So I know that we in the other 2 elementary schools will give their awards as well, but I'm gonna give this to Principal Montevecchi on behalf of Michelle Zampel.
Glad I haven't hugged anybody.
Yes. Okay. Here. I know. Yeah. I've forgotten how to hug even. I don't even. It's like really weird. Okay. The next grant, really excited to continue our support for this grant. Also a personal friend of mine that I get to give the grant to, which is exciting. But it's the Hooray for Health initiative at Hannah, and this is the third year, right? I think that we've supported it. And it's a whole body health and education program with the goal of helping students make connections between healthy foods and healthy bodies. And I think, it's been hugely successful, even in its limited capacity in the past, because it's happened the last 2 years, which we know have not been normal years. But Abby's done an amazing job to shift and change and do what she can with this program. And it aligns with the health curriculum, and it really touches every student at Hannah, which is another really amazing piece of it. And it can, really, I think, increases body confidence, makes kids aware of healthy options. Now we have all these gardens at Hannah as well that we can align all of this with. And also, there's a partnership with like phys ed, health, science, social studies. I mean, it really touches on a lot of disciplines. So really excited that this is going to get to continue, and hopefully we'll actually get to do our in-person night. We haven't been able to do it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm happy to present this to Abigail Sykes, who's the leader of this grant. And this and then the last grant is actually one I don't know if it's a conflict of interest, but I actually helped on it a little bit too. But really excited to provide some support for year-round outdoor learning structure at Hannah. And again, just listening to my son come home every day and talk about what his experience was learning outside was incredible. So pandemic or not, I think learning outside, I'm just so excited about the thought of that continuing. And the idea, he always was like, well, we were never allowed on the hill before. And then when Gabrielle and I were talking, she was like, yeah, I don't know why that was a rule, why they were never allowed on the hill before. And now he's like, we can go on the hill and run around and play and, really just explore the outdoors. So this structure is, well, I think there's a lot to still kind of be decided about it and figured out, but it will allow students to be, it's a covered structure, so in different types of weather, allow students to be outside. And all students, again, will be able to benefit from this type of a structure. And I think it's sort of a little bit like a pilot. So if it works here at Hannah, then maybe we can help expand the initiative to the other schools across the district. So now we just have to raise the money for the rest of the, so just putting that out there. Yeah, so again, I'm very honored to present this to Principal Montevecchi. Okay. All right, and then I think who's next? Another elementary school? Tara.
Hi, everyone. Oh, hold on. Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can hear through the mask. Again, this is, like Liesl said, I'm breaking new ground here. I've been teaching remotely through Salem State for the past year, so this is strange. I even wrote down who I am. Because I'm not ready for this. So I'm Tara Fitzpatrick, board representative for North Beverly Elementary, and I'm parent of a first grader who every day when I ask him, what was your favorite thing today? He says everything. And this is in the middle of a pandemic. So that is really a testament. You did rock it, all of the teachers. So I wanted to say that. So this year, North Beverly has been awarded 2 grants. What do I have first? Well, I'm going to start with the first one. Amy Blanchard, literacy coach and now incoming principal for the next school year, is receiving a grant for the district-wide literacy project titled Creating a Culturally Responsive Library, which we just got more details about. This will make North Beverly's library, make sure it offers a rich, culturally responsive collection, giving our students access to books and authors that reflect the world around them. Amy is being introduced in her new role as principal at tonight's PTO meeting. So Jenny Kelly will be accepting this for her. I'm going to actually go to the next one because that's for Jenny. And so we can do this once. So this will be for Amy. And now for Jenny's. Let's see. So faculty member Jenny Kelly is receiving a grant for a project that takes 4th graders to Long Hill Estate and Sedgwick Gardens for a unique place-based learning experience. Its goal is to increase student connections to community and nature, boost mindfulness, and increase student engagement and service learning through a variety of activities. We can't wait to hear about the results of this unique and much needed experience after this year, experience for our students. So Jenny Kelly, congrats. Come on up.
I was going to put my arm around you.
I don't know. Thank you.
I'm Sarah Aiello. I'm the board representative for AIRS, and this is my first year on the board, and it's also my first year as a Beverly Public Schools parent. My son Matthew is in kindergarten at AIRS this year. So lots of new stuff for me, and I'm pretty sure I also wrote who I am on my notes because being out in the real world is new again. So I have the pleasure of awarding 3 grants to AIRS this year. As we discussed the culturally responsive library, I think we've heard quite a bit about it. I'm excited that all of the elementary schools are a part of it, and including AIRS. And so I wanted to award that to Lauren Oxford. Thank you. The next grant I am awarding is to Sarah Fredrickson. It is the second year that we are the second year that we are awarding this grant for what is called the Social and Emotional Foundations Program. And the board really gave this grant some extra praise because it was the only grant proposal we received that supported the staff and the teachers specifically. So we were excited about that. And what it is staff are taught strategies and techniques to support social emotional learning through things like mindfulness, yoga, psychoeducation, with the hope that this will help them support the social, emotional, and developmental needs of their students. So again, this is the second year that we're running the program, and it received wonderful positive feedback and praise from teachers and staff of AIRS from this past year. So we're excited to continue that. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And the final award for AIRS is going to Mrs. Shields, Liz Shields, our art teacher. If you've been out in public, which maybe you haven't, but you've probably come across these things called free little libraries that look like tiny little houses on posts where you can leave a book, take a book. And Liz Shields proposed free little art gallery with the hope that it would start at AIRS with our 3rd and 4th graders and then just grow and hopefully grow to other schools and be community-wide. And her idea is that it will be a place for people to leave their artwork, and other people can come and take that artwork and enjoy that artwork and grow connections in the community through art. So we thought that was a really, really nice idea, and we hope to see it grow. So Liz Shields. Thank you. All right, do we have any elementary? Cove. You're doing Cove. Okay. Thank you, Sharon.
So the last elementary award is again for the creating a culturally responsive library at Cove. And the literacy coach was Heidi Moran. And I think she is here this evening. And I just want to say, as Liesl and all the other elementary reps said, this was a really neat grant from Hannah that just everybody shared. And I think it's going to really help build a wonderful library of texts that haven't been there before. And I think it's a super proposal.
Hello, my name is Catherine Barrett, and I'm the representative for Beverly High School. And I just wanted to first say thank you to all the administrators and faculty and staff who take the time to write grants. I know from my day job that it takes a lot of time and energy and effort, and particularly the past year when the teachers were really in the trenches with a lot of challenges and issues. Taking the time to write the grants really, I just want to highlight all the administrators, faculty, and staff who did it. I really am impressed. And I have 2 grants to present to the high school. The first grant, Beverly Education Foundation has supported for a long time. It is the Beverly High School AP Art Peabody Essex Museum Visit Partnership. And the partnership project includes a series of visits to the Peabody Essex Museum in Salem to explore a variety of artworks from several cultures and several different media. The visits and lessons are designed for advanced placement studio art students. These students must create a final portfolio, and the visits to the museum are used for inspiration. And we've actually gone to the art show, which unfortunately they haven't had, I don't believe, for the last 2 springs. But we've gone to the art show as a board and seen the works that these art students produce, and it really is astounding. And this award goes to Lauren Walunas, who's an art teacher at the high school. I don't know if she's here. Oh, she is. All right. Congratulations. Wonderful. I'll get that envelope to you. The second grant award for the high school is for a program that we've supported, I think, for 3 years now, and it's the College Essay Writing Workshop Program. And it's really critical for our students at the high school who need help with their college essays and may not have support in their day-to-day instruction or even at home. Beverly High School English and Guidance departments will continue the successful and popular series of college essay writing seminars for BHS seniors. 3 sessions will be coordinated to enhance information that is concurrently presented by the English and Guidance departments within the school day. These seminars are ideal for seniors who are applying for early admission and regular admission and need extra support throughout the essay writing process. The ultimate goal for the project is to provide additional support for seniors and parents engaged in the challenging college application process. And this grant is really critical this year because many colleges, like last year, have opted out of the SAT and ACTS. So now your transcript and your sort of resume and your essay is becoming more and more critical. So this grant award is presented to Jessica Bushy, Elizabeth Lincoln, and Susan Richardson. Congratulations.
We have one more award, and this one goes first. I want to say that the Honor Teacher, our annual giving campaign, this year the community gave up over $9,000 in money to help support and recognize all of the teachers in the public schools. And that money basically goes right back out and has gone right back into all of the different grants that you've seen tonight. The final grant that we have here tonight is really near and dear to the board's heart. It has to do with the one-to-one learning initiative. And so we were contacted by Judy Miller recently, and we really believe in narrowing the digital divide. And there's always a number of families that have some difficulty in meeting or being able to pay for the computers that they have in the one-to-one initiative. And so we're going to help cover 20%, the 20% subsidy for the 20% part, which is below, so that we're covering more of the kids that we're trying to help cover them that would not normally be receiving money. So this award goes to the Judy Miller and Stephen Palomo. Thank you. All right, thank you. Oh, we have a picture. I'm not good with the pictures. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, as always. It's always a pleasure to have BevEd, and we are so grateful for your support. Thank you so much for joining us this evening for these presentations, for this surprise as well. And we thank you very much. We hope you'll stay for a moment while we switch to recognizing some of our retiring teachers, if you don't mind. Okay, Dr. Chorchak, please.
Thank you. And before I begin, I was sitting here and I was watching all of these grants being given out, and I think it's really amazing. I've sat here for 7 years or 8 years while we've distributed grants, and probably years before that as a teacher. And I think pre-pandemic, there were many things that year to year just happened and you almost took for granted. But to be able to watch the unique and really creative requests that you receive from teachers, and it just gives you we have a little greater appreciation for all the little things that we can do now in our classrooms or in our community. So I really, again, want to thank BevEd for that. I was sitting here sort of tearing up thinking, what am I doing? Why am I crying? But like, it's been such a long time, and it's been a really long year, and to think about little things like outdoor learning, or the culturally responsive libraries, or the little art library I'm thinking, oh my God, think of people who could pick up a piece of artwork and it might make their day, right? Like, so thank you all. I really appreciate that. And now I have a really awesome opportunity to recognize our retiring educators. Someone already said the word jealous. That was going to be like the major theme in my speech tonight. But this is really exciting for me. There are so many of you that either I've worked personally with or I even shared a classroom for 3 or 4 years with Sue Giolombardo. So we've been through a lot together, and so I'm really happy for you as you enter into retirement, and we're grateful for the service that you gave the Beverly Public Schools and the Beverly students in the Beverly community. So I'll call your name and ask you to come up and join me if you're here, or we'll find you on the screen and give you a shout out on the screen as we go. So first, very near and dear to my heart, Cindy DeLuiso, with 35 years of service. Cindy and I worked together at Ayers for a very long time. I'm so happy for you. Come on up. Robert Ellis, 3 years of service at Beverly High School. Alan Gibbs, 18 years of service. I don't believe that Sue is here, but Susan Giolombardo, she and I started together at the Edwards School a very, very, very long time ago, if you know Edwards School. So 16 years of service. There was a break in her service, but congratulations. My dear friend, Mr. Stephen Huey, with 29 years of service. My fellow grandparent, we've been talking a lot about our grandparents. And Etha Indek, is Etha here? Oh, Etha, is she on the screen? Well, Etha Indek for 21 years of service. And I believe that June is on Zoom. June Cases, our nurse leader. Congratulations. June had 23 years of service, first as a nurse at the North Beverly Elementary School, and for the last several years, I'm not sure exactly how many, as our nurse leader. So congratulations, June. Deb Klein, is Deb Klein here or on screen? Deb Klein, 27 years of service. And she and I played softball together, so there's a real one. And I think perhaps this is one of the first people I may have met when I came to work here. Holly Knapp, our physical therapist, is retiring after 21 years of service. Holly. And Ann Paskey, our nurse at Ayers School for the 12 years that I was there as principal. Very jealous of you. Thank you. And then finally is Pam Putnam here. Pam is also someone that I worked with forever since I've been here. She was a school psychologist. We worked together when I was a team chair. And she had 27 years of service in Beverly. So congratulations. Again, you'll have to hear all your stories of all the wonderful things that you do in your retirement, and we wish you all well. So thank you.
Why don't we take a 3-minute recess so we can congratulate those retiring and thank again our friends at Bev Ed.
Your mic.
Okay, thank you for those watching at home for being patient while we thanked again our lovely friends with the Beverly Education Foundation and congratulated our educators on their retirement. We are now back in session. It is 7:54 p.m. and we will proceed with our agenda. I did just want to confirm that for remote participation, we have members of our cabinet. We have Dana Krushank, Aaron Sweeney, Christina Leo, and I believe that's it for our remote participants at this time. Okay. Our first item, now that we're back from recess, is the approval of the meeting records. We have 3 separate sets. For expediency's sake, I will make a motion to approve April 28th, 2021's Committee of the Whole minutes.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any edits or corrections? All those in favor of approving the meeting records? It is 6-0. I will also make a motion for May 12th, 2021. This is our FY22 public hearing. Do I have a
Second.
thank you? Are there any edits or corrections? All those in favor of approving the meeting records? Thank you. It's 6-0. And our final item, I will make a motion to approve the May 12th, 2021 regular school committee minutes.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Coelho. Any corrections or edits? All those in favor of approving those meeting records? 6-0. Thank you very much. We are not joined this evening by our new student representative, Hollis Colby, but we look forward to her joining our fall meetings. Next, we have an open forum for citizen concerns or input on agenda-related items. At this time, the president will consider requests to address the school committee on items not included as part of the agenda at this time. If there were any people that were wishing to sign up, they could contact citizen concerns at beverlyschools.org before 7 p.m. tonight. I did receive one email that I will read into the record. I'm just going to check with Ms. Bergeron. I do not believe we have any other requests. Okay.
No.
So I received a copy of this email with a proposal for the school committee to consider. It is not an agenda item this evening, so I'll just read the sentiments into the record and we can consider it for a future agenda. I also just wanted to put in a plug that tomorrow, June 17th, at a location very close to the school that serves dairy-based desserts, we'll be having a Goodhue Strong Day. So tomorrow, if you can put it into your schedule, consider stopping nearby. The subject of the email reads Ben Goodhue Strength and Conditioning Center Proposal. This is received from Mark Babcock. The email is addressed to myself as the president, which is the policy that we have in place for any considerations of naming places or spaces within our district. Dear Miss Abel, my name is Mark Babcock, and I am a Ryleside native, former Beverly football captain, and member of the BHS Music Department. Today, I am reaching out to you to propose naming the fitness center at Beverly High School after coach and teacher Ben Goodhue. Below, you will find my reasons. Currently, former coach and teacher Ben Goodhue is battling brain cancer and has been for the past couple of years, and he has been a pillar of the BHS sports community. During my time at BHS, Coach Goodhue dedicated endless before and after school hours, as well as summer hours, to the student athletes at BHS. The best example of his dedication is that he ran 3 workouts a week every summer at 6 a.m. for all the BHS athletes, no matter which sport or gender, as well as any student who wanted to go. At these workouts, he drew numbers of over 100 students. Any teacher who is able and willing to inspire 100 or more high schoolers to be up at 6 a.m. 3 days a week in the summer is a special individual. At these workouts, he was diligent and caring, motivating and helpful in his goal to help athletes achieve their highest potential. With these workouts he organized, he created a strong, supportive sports community that built camaraderie between all sports teams, which could be seen if you attended any game. His ability to create community is one of his greatest attributes. As well as organizing workouts, Mr. Goodhue played an integral part in planning and assuring that the fitness room was outfitted with the best possible equipment for his students and athletes. In doing so, he showed that he not only cared about his students and athletes of the day, but that he is dedicated to creating a facility and a culture that led to success for generations. As both a student and player for him, I cannot stress enough how much this man sees in all of his students. Never did he look down on the not so athletically inclined in his gym classes. Instead, he helped them and made sure they felt comfortable doing what his lessons required. There is not a single student at BHS that does not believe they can achieve their goals through hard work. And he has shown time and time again he will work side by side with them. He's an unbelievably passionate and caring educator and coach whose lessons still drive me today. These are only some of the reasons I believe he deserves this honor, because the list of things he has done for the Panther sports community is immeasurable. For a man who has given so much to his community and his school, this is the least we could do for him and his family at this moment. If you would like more anecdotes or stories about Mr. Goodhue above exceptional efforts, I am happy to compile testimony from any of his former students, athletes, or fellow coaches. Although I personally cannot donate a large sum of money for this dedication, I am sure I could get funds raised if necessary for a plaque. However, none of this is about the money or the plaque. It is about our community giving this incredible coach and educator something back after all that he gave us. If you need any more information or have any questions for me, please do not hesitate to ask or email or call me on phone at the numbers below. Thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing back from you. Best, Mark Babcock. So thank you, Mark, for sharing this with us, and I'm sure the school committee will keep this under consideration. Okay. Next on our agenda, we're moving along to items by consensus. Our agenda outlines warrants A, B, C, and D. I'll take a motion to approve those warrants as a group.
So moved.
Thank you, Mayor Cahill.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. All those in favor? Okay, that's 6-0. And next, school committee chair updates. The first item in your packet is a proposed schedule for our fall meetings. Just prior to the pandemic, a number of members had been brainstorming with Dr. Chirocek and Dr. Flaherty about ways to find some efficiency and reduce the number of evenings that we're together, and also allow for the whole membership to hear presentations of the subcommittees. And so what we have proposed before you is stacking our meetings so that we have a subcommittee meeting at 6:30 p.m., followed by our regular meeting at 7:30, or our committee of the whole at 7:30, if we have the need to have a committee of the whole. And so what we've done is selected 2 dates for each of the fall months. And we're looking for a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Thank you, Mayor Cahill. Thank you, Dr. McKenzie. Is there any discussion? Mayor Cahill.
Can I just ask, so just to have said it out loud, I understand it, but it means we're going to, on a regular basis, start our own full committee meetings at 7:30, not 7?
Correct.
Okay, all right,
Correct.
thanks.
And the way that subcommittee meetings work, members who are not a member of the subcommittee can sit in the audience and not participate in the meeting. If we had an interest to have it posted as a committee of the whole so that there could be additional participation, that's something we could look at on a case-by-case basis. But the intention would be to have our citizen representatives and our subcommittees do their working meeting, and then they would be able to report out in our regular meetings. I think that from a time perspective, it also might be helpful for BevCam to avoid some of the conflicts that we've been having on alternate Wednesdays as well for our government channel. Are there any concerns with the fall schedule? Sounds like we're ready to vote. Oh, Mayor Cahill.
We may need to make sure that the 10 o'clock
Lights.
lighting thing gets fixed.
Okay, we will commit to working that out. No other discussion? All those in favor of the fall schedule? Okay, thank you so much. And next, for our summer retreat, we had talked about using our committee of the whole meeting on the 30th of June. The proposal would be to have the retreat at the McEwen Elementary or preschool in room 103 from 7 to 8:30 on the 30th. And Dr. Morgan will lead us in that work. It will be a workshop, a presentation to explain some of the professional development that our educators have been receiving this past year. And I guess, Mayor Cahill.
Ask a question.
Sure.
Remind me what the nature of that room is when it's really hot out? Is it air conditioned?
Has multiple window units and it's nice and chilly. The negotiating team has enjoyed it immensely.
Good to hear. Thank you.
I'm not sure if the water is chilled in the bubbler, but there's a water bubbler as well. Okay. Okay, so we will change the posting from a committee of the whole here to our committee's retreat. And by our policies, we have a retreat once a year. So take care of that. And I thank Dr. Morgan for preparing some information for us. And then for upcoming meeting dates, we of course have negotiations meetings ongoing with our Unit A members. The negotiating subcommittee team will be meeting again on Monday, the 21st of June. And we have tentatively scheduled the 6th of July as a potential date. We have next week, our facility and finance will be meeting here at 7 p.m. And just one other date I wanted to put out to the committee. I sent a hyperlink, since I can't read the HTTP here at the table, to the MASC-MASS Joint Conference to make members aware that there is an early bird deadline of July 15th to have a reduced rate. I'm still waiting for more information from MASC on how they plan to orchestrate a hybrid option for people who do not wish to be in person on the Cape. but I've attended a number of times in the Cape, and I've found it very valuable in between sessions just to sort of bump into school committee members from other districts or superintendents from other districts, and it's a very valuable conference. Each individual school committee member would enroll. There is an option to pay yourself or to have the district billed, and I believe it's within our budget that we could all participate if we wished. And I can provide some additional specificity about the hotel and lodging in the area. There's something that they recommend, something that the former Beverly School Committee members have found maybe a little bit better. But I will be sure to get information out to you about the options for lodging for anyone that would be interested in visiting in person. The dates are November 3rd through November 6th. I think that covers all the agenda items that I had this evening. So Dr. Turacek, without further ado, if you could.
Yep, great,
Take
thank
us.
you. I actually only have 2 items. The first one is actually some really great news. Every 6 years, and then there's a mid-year review at 3 years, districts go through a tiered focused monitoring process through the Department of Ed. And the process, they come in and they take a look at 3 areas. They look at special education, they look at the English language program and elements of that program, they look at our civil rights, and all of for those 3 areas, what they're looking at in particular is for compliance and to make sure that it's very much a compliance-driven monitoring effort. We've had it, in the past. However, I really don't even believe that I can say this, there was not one single finding in any of the 3 categories. So they came in, they did an on-site visit, they did record reviews, and I really mostly want to say thank you to Dr. Flaherty, to Bethany Splansky, and to Caitlin Beleza, who I don't know, and I wish she were here. I've neglected to invite her. That's my fault. But Caitlin Beleza really facilitated the program review for our English language learners. She serves as our facilitator for ELL services in the district. It is I can't say it enough, it's a very comprehensive review, and we did it in the midst of a pandemic, and it included an on-site review. And so I commend them for the work that they did. I don't know if anyone has any questions about any of it. The report will be posted on the DESE website. I think maybe the ELE one is up, and the special ed and civil rights one will follow. But it is something that I don't know that we've ever had no findings, ever, like in probably Beverly's history, right? There's always 1 or 2 things. It involves taking a look in student files to make sure timelines are met, make sure that IEP meetings are held, that invitations go out promptly, that documents are translated, that within ELE, that we have all of the progress reports done that match up with report cards, within civil rights, that all of our employees are taking part in ethics training. Our website is compliant. All of our certifications, teacher licensure. So they look at an awful lot of things. Sometimes the things that aren't glamorous are those compliance-driven items that we, but we have an incredibly strong team, and the work that was done is amazing. And the best part is, if you do have a finding, you have to do a corrective action that really goes on for years. And so we have 0 corrective actions because we had 0 findings. So again, kudos to Bethany and to Dot and to Caitlin Beleza for the work that they do, because really it's the oversight of their departments that make that happen. So I wanted to share that with all of you and commend them for their work and what they've done. So I don't know if there's any questions. Oh, yes, sorry, and coupled with that, when you are in line with your tiered focused monitoring, they align all of your entitlement grants, and they do an audit and review of all of the entitlement grants. So we have Title I, Title II, Title IIA, Title III, and Title IV. And again, we had all 4 grants audited, and we had 0 findings. So again, we had, it's amazing, and again, a testament. And Dr. Flaherty manages the entitlement grants with the help of Alex Tompkins, who's one of our teacher leaders, and she has been, and well, of course, Jean. Jean's the boss of all of those things. But that work, the work to keep your eye on the prize and make sure that not only are we doing great work, but that we're doing it in compliance. And really, it is elements that they choose that lead to positive student outcomes. So in the end, that's what it's tied to. So it's just a really great pleasure to be able to tell and report to all of you that it went as well as it did. So, so there's that. Any questions from anybody or? And then my second item, I listed as an end-of-year update. We have one item under that. Typically, we would go forward to the FNF. I spoke with Ms. Visnick because we had a meeting scheduled tonight. One of the policies that we have is if we create a new job that hasn't existed in the district before, the job description needs to be approved at the Finance and Facilities Committee and then come to the Committee of the Whole. We are taking on ESSER grants in a very large amount of money that will require a lot of work and oversight in terms of how we're making sure that we're utilizing the grant funding in ways that are approved for their use, as well as managing our appropriated money. And Jean really is running out of, she has so much on her plate that we really needed to find some way to support that, particularly when we take on these additional ESSER grants. So utilizing ESSER grant funding, it's not going to impact the appropriated budget. We have brought forward a job description for a budget and grant analyst. I know it was in your documents that we sent along. And we would just, I guess, request the committee to consider approving the job description as it exists so that we can move forward and hire someone to help out in our business office.
Mayor Cahill.
On a motion?
Yes, please.
I move approving the job description as is before us.
Yes. Thank you.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Do we have any questions for Dr. Cherchak? Mayor Cahill.
Thanks. So how long do you expect to fund this with ESSER funds? And then I would imagine there'll be an evaluation of whether it's something that you would want to see continue, feel the need to see continue.
Exactly.
But
So we
what's the thought on how long ESSER can take it?
So ESSER can fund, we have our ESSER funds available to us until September 30th of 2024. Right? So we will absolutely be able to utilize those funds until then. And, absolutely we'll be evaluating and reviewing. We believe it will probably be something that we'll find a way to, keep going once that goes away. But so we're not posting it as a temporary position, but we know we have the funding to support it through 2024, September 30th of 2024.
And I just follow, I think, speaking for all of us, we know we've talked about this position
Yep.
for some time. And so it seems to make sense the way you're putting it in front of us at this point. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Cahill. Do other members have any questions for Dr. Cherchak? Any comments? I'll call on myself. I think that this is something, as Mayor Cahill mentioned, that we've had on our bucket list for a while, understanding how much falls in Ms. Sherburne's responsibilities in the central office. And as Dr. Cherchak explained, there are a lot of particulars and a lot of rules and compliance to follow with the ESSER funding. So I think it will be valuable for Ms. Sherburne to have someone at the ready to help her with all of the wonderful compliant work that she does, especially this time of year. I bet you wish you could hire this person like today. So this is a July 1 hire if the candidate magically appears.
It is a ASAP hire as soon
Okay.
as we can find someone. We went ahead and posted an anticipated opening in the hope that everyone would approve it so that we could get the candidate pool building. So we're in the process of accepting applicants right now, and so
Okay.
we would like to move ahead as quickly as possible.
If there's no other comments, we can vote. All those in favor of approving the position as described in the job description, we have 6-0. I wish you luck, and hopefully the candidate is watching right now,
I know,
whoever
we're hoping.
she or they may be.
So,
Okay.
and then my only other item that I wanted to say is just end of year activities. I think that I've not had a greater day than today. I started my day at Ayers moving up ceremony for fourth grade, visited the Hannah Rolling Rally, visited the Centerville Rolling Rally, visited the middle school. Dr. Flaherty managed to hit the other schools that were out there. It's just an exciting time of year. People are ready for the end of the year, but they're celebrating that that we got sort of to the finish line here, and our kids are doing great, and it's just a happy time, and I really enjoyed my chance to go to those activities, and so we're looking forward to the great things ahead. So.
Thank you so much. As I mentioned at the start of the meeting, Ms. Visnick is absent this evening, but I am bringing forward on her behalf a report from the Standing Committee on Finance and Facilities. They last met on May 19th, just prior to our Committee of the Whole meeting, so some of us were present in the room. Their next meeting is next Wednesday at 7 p.m. here in this room. That's June 23rd. She has for an action item for us. The Standing Committee on Finance and Facility recommends the approval of the April 2021 gifts to schools totaling $2,000. This is to benefit the Beverly High School for senior celebrations, as gratefully provided by the Institute for Savings, and the Beverly Preschool. The Cummings Property Staff Giving has earmarked it for the areas of greatest need. So individually, there's $1,000 from the Institution from Savings and $1,000 from the Cummings Property. Motion to approve this receipt?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Coelho. Thank you, Dr. McKenzie. All those in favor? 6-0. We are so grateful to our community partners. Thank you so much. And the Standing Committee on Curriculum, Instruction, and Student Life. Mr. Milady, would you like, or I can just summarize?
I would love if you could summarize. So
Sure.
I was not able to attend that meeting. Our air conditioning broke and it was 85 in the house. So I appreciate Ms. Abel for covering for me.
Sure,
Like
and
you always do. So thank you.
Yeah,
very
well,
much.
and I appreciate, as you do, Dr. Flaherty really running the show. We had Dr. Flaherty and Principal Taylor with us on the 9th of June. They outlined some of the handbook changes, as well as some of the planned summer professional development activities, and shared a wonderful reflections video, which I know Dr. Flaherty had shared with each of us. I definitely recommend you open the PowerPoint or the slides, I guess they're called, the slides, and find the links to the reflections video. A generous parent donated his time to really create a spectacular reflection on this past year, visiting all of our schools and speaking with student staff. Wonderful reflections. The item that we have before us this evening is just sort of a check mark that the school committee needs to do each year with the handbooks getting updated. The item that you received in your packets, or just prior to our meeting, was the list of all of the areas that would be looked at in the updates to the handbook. As Dr. Flaherty described, we're working with Kat Lyons and her team, our lawyers, to make sure that we're in compliance with all of our references to different laws, so that our procedures are in keeping with the regulations as they change. It is my understanding that Title IX changed as recently as last night again. So we'll probably be doing some policy work over the summer as well to realign our policies to current federal and state laws. So, Dr. Flaherty, was there more that you wanted to introduce before we put a motion forward?
No, I think that had the list and the list. We're going to try to do some work over the summer to make it more user-friendly, because the high school handbook is over 100 pages long, and we know that not everybody's going to sit and read that. So we want to put in a lot of links, but then also there's going to be a major deep dive on the handbooks at all three levels for next year, to try to make them more user-friendly, and a lot of links and stuff so people can go right to the section they need.
Thank you for that. And I was grateful to have Steve Palamo's ear today. We'll also do some work over the summer with our policy subcommittee to make that more user-friendly as well and more easily cross-referenced by individual policy item rather than the large PDF. So I'll make a motion to approve the plan to update the student handbooks for the 2021, well, actually, is it 21-22 school year, based on the items that are outlined here. And as Dr. Flaherty said, work for a more user-friendly approach. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions or comments? All those, oh,
These are no longer printed documents. So if there are any changes, it can be a live document. So if there's anything that isn't on the list, we'll bring it back to you in the fall because it can be changed live.
thank you. That is a good benefit of the technology today. And we send notice to parents if there's a significant change. For instance, if they sign off at the beginning of the year that they've received it. Okay. I guess that was my remaining question, live documents. Okay. So all those in favor of putting forward the changes to handbooks? Okay, 6-0. Thank you very much. And then we just approved our fall schedule, so the next curriculum instruction and student life meeting will be in the fall. And I believe we settled on September 8th. Okay. Next, negotiating subcommittee. As I mentioned, we will be meeting again with Unit A on June 21st, which is Monday, in a marathon session. And it is our hope that the IBB progress that we've made so far will continue to move forward. Compensation interests and issues are currently the topic being discussed. If necessary, we will also be meeting on July 6th. And for policy review subcommittee, I'm currently acting as chair on that and have some commitments to our district to make sure that we get our website up to date and then put forward any future policy subcommittee work to align our policies and get back on our schedule. Next item is communications from school committee members. Do we have any communications that want to be brought forward? Ms. Robinson.
Thank you. So I just received some communication from elementary and middle school music parents on the instrumental band continuing in fourth grade and perhaps expanding to third grade. So I've passed these concerns on to Dr. Trocheck, and she will be reaching out to those parents. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. I believe a few of us received those same concerns. Thank you. Are there other communications? We kind of can lump in our community events as well. I'll just read off a few things. I have appreciated the collaboration with the city for the flag raising events that we've had this month. Also, the musical offerings at Lynch Park have been fantastic to see a return of our jazz band students. Look for those types of opportunities. They're coming back. It's pretty exciting. I was in receipt of some communications about bus and bike safety, and I am pleased to hear that the students are receiving some bike safety lessons here on campus. I think both of my students reported seeing some pretty cool bike tricks, as well as getting some no-nonsense advice about being more safe. I received a communication just, I think, today for the school committee to consider basketball at the middle school level. So we'll push that over to one of our subcommittees. It was a great honor to be able to attend the Anchor Point groundbreaking with the superintendent and the mayor up by the high school. You'll see some activities starting there. Actually, I was shocked how fast they went from a tent with fruit salad to piles of trees and getting the site really prepped. If people are looking for more information about that and the wraparound services, I would encourage you to reach out. Dr. Flaherty and Principal Thomas and I have been participating in some attendance campaign planning. It's a regional group, sort of an offshoot of the Be Healthy Beverly group, working in collaboration with resources in Gloucester and some of our other surrounding communities to think about ways that we can communicate the importance of showing up, attending, being present and engaged. And so I look forward to continuing some of that work over the summer. I also want to highlight a community event also sponsored by a similar group of folks for high school mental health at Aubert Park on Saturday. It's open to high school age students from our community and some surrounding communities. It will be from noon to 3 p.m. If you know of anyone that could enjoy a day of breaking dishes or getting temporary tattoos or just finding out about resources that are available in our community, it's going to be a fun day, but also have a lot of information that might be important to our students or friends, our neighbors in that high school age range. Can't even read my own handwriting. I truly appreciated the efforts to put together a wonderful high school graduation on one of our hottest days of the year. That was a wonderful event, and I look forward to the the 8th graders having their promotion ceremony here on campus. I know behind us we can see they're setting up the chairs in the little stage. My understanding is that there will be 3 groups starting 9 o'clock and going through the morning. It is my understanding the school committee is welcome to observe those promotions, and when I have more specifics, I will pass that along. I think I've reached the end of our agenda. I'm incredulous because it's only 8:27.
I can tell you that there are 3 waves of the promotions, 9
Okay,
o'clock,
please.
10:30, and 12, and they're out here on the field tomorrow. And so each neighborhood will have their assigned time for when they're going to go. So if you're interested in coming by at either 9, 10:30, or 12, those are the times.
Thank you for that information. Mayor Cahill.
Yeah, let me just share one on the multi-site solar project, just a quick
Sure.
update. I think we've had this conversation already about how the costs for infrastructure upgrades that National Grid is requiring for the several sites has come in significantly above what had been projected. We were looking at remember, this is middle school, high school, 3 parking lots downtown, the senior center and city hall. So it's multiple sites. And we had projected about a $400,000 cost for all the infrastructure upgrades required to connect all these solar arrays to the grid. What's come back to date from National Grid is about $1.1 million in cost. It's about a $700,000 difference, which changes the finances of the project. So we're working with our partner Kearsarge, and we're working with National Grid. So we're trying to find a way to push back some on the cost, and we'll see where that lands. And then we're going to have to do some work with our partners at Kearsarge, which means that we don't know when we'll be bringing a lease forward. I just say it aloud because it's conceivable it could come together quickly and be part of what we do before summer break, or it could be something that comes in at the end of the summer. So, but that's just an update for now. It's a challenging one. What I'm learning about the modernizing and upgrading of the the electric power structure, infrastructure, from the local level right on up to the national level. It's an evolving landscape. So we'll see what that means to our local project.
Thank you for that communication. Appreciate it. Appreciate the heads up. Without further ado, before the clock strikes 8:30, motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Ms.
Second.
Robinson. Thank you, Ms. Coelho. All those in favor? Unanimous, 6-0. Thank you, as always, BevCam, for broadcasting us. And we are adjourned.